going to call the meeting to order. It is at 7:33. This meeting is going to be very casual. It's going to be just some people telling us what their expertise is and making suggestions about how to get the Democrats to win, especially at the top of the ticket. And so we're not going to vote on anything. So we may be not quite so Robert's Rules of Order on this one, but welcome aboard. Here comes one of our other speakers. So there's nothing to keep us from starting. So we're going to start off with the traditional stuff that we start off with, which is the land acknowledgement. Val, are you here? There you are. I see you up in the corner.
Yes, I am.
Would you like to give the land acknowledgement, please?
The California Senior Caucus wishes to honor the homeland of the First Nations people of California. The CDP Senior Caucus acknowledges that the land where we live, work, and enjoy is the unceded territory of the First National tribal people since time began. The CDP Senior Caucus wishes to recognition and respect to counter the doctrine of discovery with the true story of the original tribal people who are here, and to support the reconciliation of the government-to-government relations of these sovereign nations. We are surrounded by their traditional ancestral territory, and we must strive to understand the spiritual knowledge First Nations people carry. Their strong cultural values have enabled the First Nations' resiliency to survive. This was written for us by Redwood Flower, who is the Sherwood Band Rancheria of Pomo. So thank you to her.
Okay. All right. I see someone's asking for closed captioning, but that's nothing that is automatic. So somewhere at the bottom of your screen, there's an option
Yeah,
to,
the closed caption is on.
yeah, there's an option to show it or hide it. So if you're not seeing it, click on that and you should. So yes, that is open for everybody. At this point, I think I would like to go through the officers for some short reports, and we'll go in the order that they happen to be printed on my list. And Val, do you have a report that you would like to make, as long as you're up on the screen? Val?
Okay.
Oh, wait, before you
Yes.
go.
Val Mahowski, Northern Vice Chair. We have two exciting races. One is for our Assembly District 2 race, and we have Chris Rogers, who is running a contested race against a Republican. That was a surprise to us all, because we thought this was such a heavy Democratic area that we would have two Democrats running, but it didn't turn out that way. So we do need help with Chris Rogers. And so if you're on the North Coast, please turn into his campaign. He's very eager to have you put out signs, bumper stickers, and have him come and speak. On the other side of the North is Jessica Morris, and she is in Congressional District 3. It's for the first time Congressional District 3 is has a little chance, because they have reapportioned Congressional District 3. And so she has some new voters in that area. So if you are on the eastern part of California, in the Northeast, go to Congressional District 3 and help Jessica out. Okay, that's it.
All right, thanks. I think I'm going to skip to our secretary, Howard, and just ask Howard, we're not planning on having any voting, but if we were, do we have a quorum? And you're muted, by the way. Howard?
Okay, I'm here now. Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm proud to say we do have a quorum. And for my brief report, I just want to mention that our meeting today is about electing people who will ensure that the government is funded. Today, the so-called speaker tried to have a funding mechanism to tie funding of the government, including my salary and other feds, tied to ensuring that everyone who votes proves that they're a citizen, and that was voted down. So I think this meeting is very important because we need people in Congress who are sane and who vote in support of seniors. And I think we always have to remember that Social Security was enacted by Franklin Roosevelt, Medicare by LBJ, and Obamacare by Obama, all Democrats. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. I see a hand up, but at this point, we're not. Yeah, when we're done with the officer reports, we'll call on you. Okay, next on the list is Dottie Smith, who couldn't make it tonight, I think for technical reasons. I mean, she lives in the Central Valley and doesn't have a very good internet connection. And that seems to be a problem kind of at the worst times. So I'm going to mute people who aren't talking. Okay, so next on the list is Janine. Janine, do you have something to report?
Well, the same as hi, everyone. I'm in Southern California, so that's the Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, San Diego area. And Mike and I were talking before everybody came on how important the congressional districts are that are being challenged, or the Democrats are challenging Republicans, because that's going to be crucial. I know in our area, we've got George Whitesides, who is up challenging Mike Garcia in the 27th. And that's up Homedale, Lancaster, that area north of Los Angeles. But then there's also Will Wallens and challenging Calvert in the Inland Empire. And then Ruiz is challenging, who is he challenging? In the 25th, and that's out by Indio and Coachella. Mike, you said that there was a challenge down in San Diego that's similar. Oh, Mike,
yeah, I'll mention that when it gets.
Yeah, okay. So,
and you need to talk a little louder, by the way.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It might be because I have a fan on. And so I'm working on a local race, but and my arms are all tan from being out there and tabling or whatever. So yeah, and then I know Sarah Roos, I believe, is on the call, or she was for a second there. Yeah. And Sarah's been on almost every thread that I'm on with Sarah. She's reminding people to update your signatures for voting legislation. So I give her cred for that suggestion as well.
Thank you, Janine. Next up, we have Carol Taylor.
Oh, hi. Sorry about my camera being off. I have poor internet too. But as the treasurer, I'm very concerned about the new structure of the dues that the party has put on the clubs. And we'll have more emails about that, because the party really needs to restore the way it was set up before. But right now, I'm particularly interested in this meeting because I'm forever getting calls to get on the bus to Reno. I don't want to. I want to sit in my house and do stuff. So that's why I'm looking forward to hearing from Field Team 6. And we're recording this meeting, so I know I'm going to be watching it again. And please share the link with everybody you know, because there's going to be a lot of information tonight. Thank you.
Okay. And we will be sending, it's not a link, but how to get to the video once it's uploaded to YouTube. So YouTube video, so the basic concept to get to it is to open YouTube, search for the California Senior Caucus channel. And when you do and find it, you'll see all of our videos. And in a couple of days, you will see this one. If you don't want to do that, though, and still want the information, the only real option you have is to take notes. Or if in your closed captioning thing, there is an option to view the full transcript. You might want to click on that, and then when the meeting's about to end, click on save the transcript or whatever it says. And that will help. Okay, so that was Carol. We did Howard. And next up is, I think, me. Because I want to hold Angelica till last because she's going to introduce the rest of the meeting. What Janine was talking about is we have in Southern Orange County and Northern San Diego County, I live in Southern San Diego County, we have a congressman who's very good. His name is Mike Levin. And the district is, San Diego portion of his district is very Democratic. The Orange County portion is very Republican. And unfortunately, the Orange County part of his district is bigger in terms of population than the San Diego portion. He's done a great job. There's no reason to not reelect him. And right now, it's so important to elect Democrats in the Congress. California has something like 5 or 6 Republican congressmen who could conceivable be replaced with a Democrat. And I'm sure, that our, when we make phone calls and postcards and whatever we talk about the rest of the meeting, that we'll go after those and see if we can get them. Because if Kamala Harris and Walz win and they don't have a congressional majority, it's going to be a disaster. I mean, nothing they do will pass. We saw that with Obama a few years ago. He managed to get a few things through, but not very many, and things are more divided now. So the importance of this meeting, I think, is to make sure we have a Democratic president and vice president, a Democratic House and Senate, and almost as important is Democratic for the down ballots. And so I hope that you all participate in the phone banking, et cetera, that we're doing. And of course, we're aiming it at seniors, but you don't have to be a senior to do it. And by aiming it at seniors, we're concentrating on things other than walking districts. As I put in the blasts, I used to walk 3 precincts a day on weekends before elections, as important as this one. This one's even more important, frankly. Now it takes me 3 days to walk a precinct. So I'm looking for things that I can do that I can do without having to walk, I guess, is what you'd say. So that's the purpose of our meeting. So we're going to move into that portion of the meeting now. And to do so, I'm going to introduce Angelica, who will introduce herself and our speakers and take the bulk of the agenda of this meeting. So Angelica, take it away.
All right, thank you, Mike. Good evening, everyone. My name is Angelica Lopez Moyes, and I'm a delegate for Assembly District 52 in Los Angeles. And thank you, Mike, for pretty much moving into this next portion of our meeting. What I'm happy to focus on now is Congressional District 27, and we have invited the California Democratic Party organizing director for that district. Her name is Nadia Abrica. And Nadia is gonna speak about some of the challenges with this race, where we have the Democratic candidate, George Whitesides, and we have a really great opportunity to take back the seat from Republican Mike Garcia. And Nadia, you've got the floor. Welcome.
Thank you so much, everyone. Angelica, thank you so much. Mike, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be here. I want to know if I'm welcome to do a presentation just like this, or I have a presentation that I can present. If you allow me to share my the screen, I will be happy to do that. But if not, let me know if I can do it. If not, I can move. I'm the type of person that dance with music or without the music. So you can
should be able to share your screen right now.
There we go. I got it. Thank you so much. But before I do the presentation, my name is Nadia Abrica, and I'm the director of California 27, like Angelica said. But other than that, being the director, I am the person with the type of organizer that works with the most important tool. I work really hard with my heart, and I am putting everything, all the energy possible, all the love to get to flip District 27. Like we already said, getting Kamala Harris is very important. I can't wait to gel so hard and say it. We have the first woman president in the United States of America, but we know that she needs the help. We need to flip the House. She needs Congress to be on her side to be able to do more than that. And that's why we are here. So I can share with you what we're doing in California 27. California 27 is a beautiful district that is close to Los Angeles, and it covers a little bit part of Santa Clarita. For those that are familiar with the Santa Clarita, San Fernando Valley, you go up, and after that you will find the beautiful high desert, Palmdale and Lancaster. For those that are not familiar with it, now you can have an idea and about the district. And I'm gonna be sharing right now really quick my screen so you can see a little bit more about it. So the district, as you can see, we don't need the Republicans. We have more than 12% Democrats register, and all we need is educate our registered voters. And I'll share a little bit what education is needed in this district. So this is how it's looking. And then that everybody can see my screen. Sorry, I forgot to ask. Yep, you see it?
Fine.
Awesome, great. So we have, as you can see, this is the potential targets that we're right now in this race trying to get out there. As you can see, the Latinos are high, really high in this district, and it's something that we're trying to target strongly right now. One way that we are targeting that is that we came in earlier, way before the primary election, and we were doing a lot of talking to the communities, and we were able to put the 4 groups that they were organizing in their own, put them together, and we created the first Latino Democrat club ever in this district. And now they're united, helping us to try to win and flip this district. Those are some of the things that we are doing. Another thing and I wanted to share a little bit who the candidate is, and our candidate is George Whitesides. He was never a politician. He actually says that the reason that he's running is because the politicians out there, they're taking it too serious and they're not paying attention to do the real job that is needed and working hard for the communities how it's supposed to be. So he doesn't like to play politics. And a little bit about George, other than he's very handsome, is that he is very, very smart, very, very bright. George, it's about better jobs, creating opportunities, and solving problems. And he had proven that way before he ran to be a candidate. He was already creating jobs in the AV, which is the Antelope Valley. George is a former NASA chief. He was elected by Barack Obama, and he was managing more than 15,000 employees. And he did an amazing job when he was in that position. He's also he's a family. He had raised a beautiful family in the district. That's why he's committing to expanding opportunities and lowering prices for consumers and creating jobs, because he lives in the district and he understands what the needs are. And I wish he was being able to make it. He was still trying, but he wasn't. So I will do the best representation that I can about him. George it's committed in creating the jobs, like I already said. He wants to find solutions. That's why he was funding the solutions to the wildfire and the insurance crisis, protecting a woman's rights to choose and protect Social Security and Medicare for seniors. So it's very important that we mention that, because it's something that the opponent, which you're going to get to know a little bit about him in a little, it's working really hard against that. So the campaign strategy that we are looking at, the campaign strategy is two things that we are looking at to win and flip the district. Number one thing that we are doing is we are making sure that we are doing direct border contact. You hear it well, direct border contact, back in to bases, the same way that it was way before. I know that there is a lot of new things going on. I know that there is other ways to do it, but we believe in knocking doors. We believe in calling and talking to people. We believe that that is the way that we can get educated our people in this district. That is number one that we're doing in this to win the district. The other thing that we are doing, we are getting together. We are united. We are here together with California Democratic Party, the state party, and we are also together with DCCC. And on top of that, so we can do a coordinated campaign, we're getting together with candidates that are running for assembly, candidates that are running for a state senate, so we can have canvassing events together. So instead of hosting a few little volunteers in one corner and another corner, we are all together in one canvassing event and knocking doors and getting together, covering the whole district, speaking about more than one candidate when we have the opportunity to be in there. George, it's up in the polls already, up for 3 points. They're great points, and I really I believe that is a good news that we are up there, and that's why I'm gonna clap on myself, because I strongly believe that we need to admire that being a very hard race, and we are at 3 points. That is telling you that we're doing the job in here. So there we go. Then I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about our opponent. The first thing that I want to share with you is that our opponent, obviously, it's Mr. Mike Garcia. Mr. Mike Garcia, he's best friends with Donald Trump. Right in there, I'm telling you, who are we going against? He's a MAGA. He pretends that he is for the people. He lies in his ads. The LA Times already called on him for lying in his ads. He put that he supports women when he voted against. As a matter of fact, he's a co-author against women's rights. So this is Mike Garcia. And when I told you about Mike Garcia, I can go a little bit more on that. As you already know, maybe you already know, like I already mentioned it, Garcia co-sponsored the national abortion ban. He is voting against women's rights. Garcia sold up to 50,000 of Boeing stock. Just weeks before a congressional committee, he is on release a damage report on their plane crashes. And he is always lying and everything that he can. Another thing that he does in this, which it comes to what I mentioned to when I started, it's about the Latinos. He has a Latino last name, Mike Garcia, and he uses it really well, even though he votes against Latinos. Everything that is for them, he votes again, but he uses his last name big time. He also creates his propaganda bluish in the area of where the Latino community is bigger to confuse our people that he's a Democrat. So that's where I was saying that all we need is to educate our Democrats so they know that Mike Garcia, it's not a good Latino for the Latino community, and also that he's a Republican. He's trying to pretend that he's a Democrat. So that's where we need the help. All we need is educate our own Democrats that Mike Garcia, it's not good for our communities, and that he is a Republican. So this is what we are doing. We're working in we're doing the ground game. We're knocking doors as much as we can. And here it comes, all the activities that we are doing to win and flip this district. We have canvassing events every weekend. We do not have one, we don't have two, we don't have four. We have 8 canvassing opportunities per weekend. In the morning and the afternoon, in 2 sides of the district. If you cannot make it all the way to the beautiful high desert, you can stop in Santa Clarita if you're coming from LA, and you can canvass with us in the morning or in the afternoon. We also have the phone bank. We have it every Wednesday and now every Thursday. And we have it in the evening, different opportunities for you to phone bank with us. The amount of time that you want to join us. The beautiful thing of helping us phone banking is that you can wear your most comfortable pajamas and no one will find out. So that is the best part of phone banking from home. You don't need to go nowhere with this. And this is what we have. Obviously, we have visibility events. We have opportunities in our headquarters. And for that, I'm going to stop sharing so I can put them in here in the chat, where you can go and find all the activities that we have. We need to get George Whitesides elected, not just because he's a great candidate that will be representing us all. I can see everyone's face in here. Nadine, thank you so much for paying attention. Jason, thank you so much. Everyone that is listening, I really want you to not forget today's meeting. I really want you to go out there remembering that California 27, it's in our backyard. How many of you guys, and it's not a question because I know the answer. I know that a lot of us, we have been helping through the years, a lot of states all the time. We go to Nevada, we go to Texas, we go everywhere helping, because always California is here to help, because we know it's blue and he's going to get elected. For example, Kamala Harris, we know she's going to win in our California, but all the time we're helping other states. And today in this election in 2024, California matters, because this seat is the one that is going to decide if Congress is red or Congress is blue. So I'm asking you to join me. It's just in the backyard. California 27 is the only district on LA County that is red. California, when George, it doesn't matter where everyone in here is. Those that I cannot see your faces, but I can read your name. Howard, I can see Maria, Lee, Brady. I'm calling you guys names. I really need you on board. Sarah, thank you. I need you on board. Help me out to flip this district. Get rid of Mike Garcia. Because if you guys forgot, I will remind you, doesn't matter where you are in California, doesn't matter where you are in the country, when a congressman votes, affect us all. So I invite you to do something. It's in your hands. You can do something. And I already put him in there. And I really, really will hope, and I really, really wish with my heart that you can join me, that I can meet you in person in one of my canvassing events, that I can see you in one of our phone banks, that I can see you doing something about it. Don't do it for me. Don't do it for you. Do it for the entire country of the United States of America. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for allowing me to be here. You guys, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nadia, thank you for joining us this evening. And I want to make sure, I did see you you dropped a link in the chat that leads one to activities to support the campaign. Thank you, Nadia. So we're going to move on to the next guest. We have here Jason Berlin. Jason has been a regional field organizing coach with Swing Left. He's also been a regional organizing field organizer with the California Democratic Party, and he is the founder of Field Team 6 and currently the executive director. And I've had the pleasure of getting to know Jason a number of years ago, and we actually walked door to door together, and I picked up many tips on what to do to attract potentially Democratic voters. So what Field Team 6 does, Jason's going to share with us, but he's been working across the country in critical areas, registering getting folks registered to vote. So I will give the floor to Jason.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Angelica. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Good to see you, Dennis. So many people I know. Thank you, Nadia, for your amazing work. Hell yes. We need CA27. Absolutely. Come on, George. It's great. Great to hear about your work. Yeah, Angelica, we were on the same ADEM slate. That was wonderful. Yeah. So thank you so much. CADEM Senior Caucus. Well, as someone who has been in the grassroots since I'm class of 2016, I know that it's not just in California, but across the entire country, the entire resistance is the Senior Caucus. That's who's getting stuff done. This really just being in volunteering and organizing for the last 8 years. I mean, I'm not saying it's made me trust young people less, but it's just, but less young people, it's made me trust more. So thank you for getting it done these last 8 years. And I'm sure some of you much, much longer, maybe your whole lives. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Jason Berlin. I was a TV writer for 18 years, and then Trump got elected, and it broke my mind and heart. So I left my writing career, jumped into volunteering, worked with Swing Left and Indivisible, interviewed super hard for a job with the California Democrats as an organizer. They were like, why is this old dude like so intent on getting an organizing job? But thank God they gave me that job. And in the lead up to the 2018 midterms, with a small volunteer army, we were able to rally, who were almost all women, just to give credit where it's due. That's the resistance nationwide also. We were able to register over 6,000 Democratic voters in the 5 swing districts at the time and do our part to help flip all 5. And yes, Mike Levin is still there. I believe he's the only one. Some of those districts are still blue though. So after that, so that was because of the California Democratic Party. I'm here now, and Field Team 6 is here now. We've been able to do all the good that we have. So it was after that 2018 midterms election that my job with the party ended, which was routine, but it seemed like a bad time to break up the band because we had this passionate core group of super volunteers. We had just learned 1,000 lessons about partisan voter registration, specifically registering Democrats, and to throw them away would have been madness. So I started Field Team 6. It was a play on SEAL Team 6 because we are the crack voter registration team that goes behind enemy lines in these purple districts and states and does the impossible. And so our stated mission from the beginning to now is register Democrats, save the world. And we thought, let's try going national in swing states as well as districts and see what kind of good trouble we can get into. So that was, we started we were all in-person voter drives. Then COVID hit. We had to, of necessity, pivot and crack the nut of digital voter registration. So we started building this database. It's the first of its kind database in the country. It now has millions of unregistered people who are likely Democrats. So we went to political data vendors, and not many people are even looking for these lists, but these people are not registered, and the data vendors use gender, age, location, some purchase data. If a person drives a Prius, eats expensive yogurt, goes to hot yoga, maybe they might be a Democrat. Things like that. It turns out it's pretty good targeting. So with this database, we started reaching out via email, text, postcard, phone call. And our stretch goal when we were an in-person voter drive organization, our stretch aspirational goal was to register 100,000 new voters by the 2020 election. Because we went digital, we didn't hit that. We registered over 700,000. And so that became a huge part of what we do. We've brought back in-person voter drives. We still train for those and have a full support system for anyone who wants to lead their own voter drive in any of our now 12 target states. But the vast majority of what we do is using that database as our secret weapon and using it to do emails, texts, postcards, and phone calls. So we did a deep data dive on our work in the 22 midterms, and I want to show you some results from that. But before I do that, I just want to take a step back and look at the biggest picture to say that whatever the reason is that you're on this call right now, that you're an activist, or the reasons, whether that's abortion rights or LGBTQ plus rights or workers' rights or gun violence prevention or climate rescue or affordable health care, housing, education, or it's just saving democracy itself. The only way to push those things forward is to elect more Democrats. You know that. That's why you're here. And the most direct way to do that is to register more Democrats to vote, especially in swing states and districts. So that last part is actually controversial. The wisdom from on high is that it all comes down to turnout. We've all heard that phrase. When you think of activism, you think of knocking on doors, turnout, getting out the vote. But the paradigm shift that we are trying to cement is that turnout is half the problem. And the other entire half is creating new voters. You can't get out the vote if those voters don't exist to begin with. So, you know, sometimes it's like no one's had the talk with people about where a voter comes from. So we help with that part, that biggest hurdle, like getting people into over the fence and into the pool, so that the entire GOTV mechanism of the party, from national to local, of every campaign, of most grassroots groups, that whole GOTV mechanism can now target them and get them to vote. Turnout is just half the problem. 85% of registered voters vote in a presidential election. That points to registering voters being a huge part of the solution. Campaigns are, I would say, just half the solution. You know, campaigns fight for a vote. We fight for a new voter who will give them that vote, but also vote for Democrats up and down the ballot for the rest of their lives, some of them. So while, TV ads are a necessary part of the ecosystem, they're there and gone. What we leave in our wake are new blue voters, the human infrastructure, who's going to keep on pushing these swing districts and states further left over time. So, and it's cumulative, of course. You know, elections are binary, progress is not. Elections, you win or lose, but whether you win or lose, the voters you registered stay registered, unless it's Georgia, and you build on that each time. So that's why. Oh, let me just throw in one more statistic that blew my mind. We all know 23% of young people turn out at the polls, generally, something like that. In 2020, among registered 18 to 24-year-olds, 86% voted. 86%, in line with the general population. So that just suggests that the simple act of registration turns people into super voters. And this half of the life cycle of a voter has been ignored for too long. We need more volunteers, donors focused on this to feed our victories. So yeah, let me go to what I want to show you about 2022. Oh, and let me just answer this one question though. Are you seeing a Harris effect with more enthusiasm toward registering the unregistered? Absolutely. Oh my God. This is such an amazing moment in history to be alive. You know, we had two men running for the president, right? Running for the presidency. One let go of his ego, passed the torch to the next generation, and unleashed a tidal wave of love and energy for his vice president. The other tried to kill his vice president for betraying his ego and not selling out the entire democracy. So the leadership, just in history, it's not common that someone who's achieved the highest office in the land willfully hands power off to the next generation. Because George Washington did it, we have a democracy. And because Biden just did it, we got a shot at keeping it. The leadership, I'm just so grateful for the leadership of Joe Biden in stepping down, and the leadership of Kamala Harris in stepping up, because you have to mention her too. She has just stuck the landing on top of this tidal wave like a political Simone Biles, just with grace and joy and confidence, flawless. From the first rally speeches she gave to the convention, and then to the debate, which is now, people are saying, you know, it's one of the best debate performances in history. She just keeps on hitting it out of the park. So it's so wonderful when the talent at the top of the ticket matches the talent and passion in the grassroots where we all are. And to be a part of this moment where all of our preparation for years meets this like great good fortune, and we can reap a jackpot of new Democrats who will serve us well in future cycles. I think we are riding a movement right now. Yeah, sorry, that's the short answer. But whew, this is amazing. We Field Team 6 went from 22,000 volunteers the day Biden passed the torch to 28,000 now. So thank you, VP Harris. Amazing. Oh, can I share my screen? Oh yes, can you make me a co-host, please? Yes, I will drop the link for how to help Field Team 6 register more Democrats. Here, I'll just drop these links preemptively in the chat. Volunteer link, donation link, the website, and an upcoming event. We're having a pre-election strategy briefing on Monday, September 30th, 12 days, 5 p.m. with Pennsylvania state rep and superstar Malcolm Kenyatta, who is running for state auditor. Trying to get Jeff Jackson also, representative from North Carolina, who's general there. So, okay. In the 22 midterms, using our database of unregistered likely Democrats, we reached out, we contacted 5 million of them. Out of those 5 million, here's how many registered. 1.57 million, about 1 in 3 registered as Democrats or independents. That's about 10 times the normal nonpartisan efforts. We do, remember, uniquely partisan voter registration. Out of those, 660,000 voted, about 42%, kind of in line with midterms turnout. And that came out to about $1 per voter. But when you break it down by vote, it's about $2.24. And that's insanely efficient. This is for context. The Democratic Party nationally has spent $1,500 to get that vote. Closest organizations to us spend about $200 to $300. The reason we can do it for this mind-blowing orders of magnitude less is there are only 3 people on paid staff, including me, and now 28,000 volunteers. So our organizational structure allows us to do this. Here's just to look at 3 states quickly. You don't need to memorize these numbers, but here's how many people we contacted. Unregistered likely Democrats, almost 700,000. Under 300,000 actually registered as blue and purple Democrats and independents. Of those, here's how many voted. And those votes are about 60,000 votes more than the victory margin of Democratic Governor Tony Evers, who signed fair legislative district maps into law a few months ago for the first time in a generation. In Arizona, reached almost 400,000 unregistered likely Dems. Here's how many registered as blue and purple. Of those, 60,000 voted, 3.5 times victory margin of Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs, who you might remember defeated deranged psychopath Carrie Lake, who is now running again. We got to defeat her. She came back like Voldemort. We have to defeat her again in Arizona, now helping Ruben Gallego. And Nevada, that's actually the lowest yield we had in any state. We think it's because the population is so transient. It's hard to get good data for them. Still, we contacted 175,000 people, 27,000 registered as blue and purple, over 8,500 voted, which is the entire victory margin of Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, who secured control of the Senate for Democrats in what was supposed to be a red wave election. That, as you know, we defied all odds. We did lose the House by a tiny bit, but did not lose the Senate, even increased our majority there. So that is how impactful what we do is. This is how we did it, with millions of texts, emails, postcards, and calls. And that brings us to now. So these are our 12 target states chosen to restore the Democratic trifecta: House, Senate, White House. So California, you notice, is on there, as is New York. We are targeting 6 swing districts in each. We're helping out in some other districts in addition to that. But in California, the ones I'm sure you can guess, but 13, 13, Adam Gray, 22, Rudy Salas, 27, George Whitesides, let's go. 41, Will Rollins, who's amazing, 45, Derek Tran, 47, Dave Mann. And we also are helping out in Michael Evans, 49th district as well. And yes, everything Nadia said, I second and third. We only need to flip 4 seats to take back the House. California alone could be responsible for that. Montana and Ohio are for the Senate. We have to run the tables to hold the Senate. Sherrod Brown here and John Tester here, we got to keep. Florida, we absolutely believe we have a shot there. I geek out on the map. I'm going to move on, but if anyone wants to talk about that later, I'm here for it. And we chose all of these just in keeping with our overarching goal, which is really easy to remember. It's just 3 words. We have to win it all so that America can once again have nice things, so we can pass abortion rights into federal law, so we can pass game-changing voting rights. And I love that VP Harris name checks the acts, and she says the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. She's singing our song. That's the Holy Grail. That, by untilting the playing field, that changes everything. It makes Texas purple with its anti-gerrymandering protections. That will also make Florida way bluer, and same with North Carolina and Ohio. And we will save the democracy if we restore that Democratic trifecta. So how can you help? You all say in unison, volunteering and donating. Those are the 2 best ways to help. You can also help out. So, well, volunteering includes helping out behind the scenes. It includes postcarding, text banking, phone banks, helping out with Blue Voter Guide, which is our sister project. Blue Voter Guide is bluevoterguide.org is a free voter guide that doesn't recommend anything itself. It's an aggregator of endorsements. It's like Yelp for voting. So you type in your address, it shows you your ballot, every candidate, proposition, and judge, along with their endorsements by trusted organizations on the left, including the Democratic Party. So you can see at a glance who's endorsed who. It really is a great way to overcome the confusion. That's the biggest problem with new voters and with low information voters, is that they just vote the top of the ticket and they don't vote all the way down. And so they don't unlock their full voting power, just a tiny bit of it. And studies have shown recently that the reason they do that is not because they don't care, it's because they do. Yeah, you're right. I see you, Judy. Yep. They do, and they don't want to mess it up. So this gives you just a quick way to see who's endorsing what. If along the way you find, oh, I really love who Courage Campaign is endorsing, you can go click over to their guide. It's just super helpful tool. So we're trying to spread that to everyone we can. Yes, volunteering in all the ways helps. Donating absolutely helps. It's $1 a voter, which is really the best value proposition in activism. And the voters we register help Democrats win up and down the ballot in all these swing places. So, oh yeah, I would love any questions about any of this.
Thank you, Jason. Yes, we have time for questions from the group.
And I'm looking at the chat to see if I missed anything.
Okay, I see Nadine.
Yeah, hi. How do we donate directly to your team?
Let's see, I'll drop those links again.
Is it in there?
Yes, that second link, that
Or
donation
the
link.
website? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we're currently, our goal for the cycle, it was to raise 3 million, to deliver 3 million voters. We hit that. Thank you, VP Harris, again. And not that she gave us any of the money, but the enthusiasm, And our goal now is to raise, there are certain costs that don't expand as we scale this up. So our goal now is to raise 4 million to deliver 4.5 million new voters. So yes, everything helps. Every single thing helps. Nadine. Or
Sorry, I forgot to
Delegate,
go.
you can choose. That was okay. Sorry, I'll let you
We've
do
got
it.
Judith.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'm a volunteer with Phil 6, and I
Yeah.
wanted to tell you how much I appreciate the work you do, especially the training on social media. It helps me tremendously. But the only thing, and this is not a criticism, and just making a suggestion,
Mhm.
if you could make your website a little more user-friendly.
Yes.
For seniors, older adults. That's
Mhm.
I find that a little challenges sometimes to go on there and try to find the things I need to find, and I'm sure other people have the same concern. But overall, your Field 6 is wonderful, and I really enjoy working with the team, and especially the social media. I'm just amazed at the work you guys do on social media, especially teaching us how to use Twitter, to get that information, to get our information out, to advocate, and also be able to retweet it. It was just amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, Judith, thank you. That's so sweet. That's wonderful. Deb Verla is our master trainer for.
Yeah, she is. She's wonderful.
She's amazing. She's unflappable, like a captain of a nuclear submarine. Nothing gets her upset. She rolls with everything. She's amazing. So patient and just such a great trainer. Yeah, thank you. That's wonderful. And yeah, always trying to simplify the website. It's tough because we're doing so many different things. So it's like figure out how to make that easy to access.
To navigate, because sometimes it's hard to get to the things that you want to, and also to keep up, because we go to the website to keep up with what's happening, and Deb teaches us how to get there so we can get information we need, or in order to participate. So that's just my feedback. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Deb is wonderful. Thank you.
Love her.
Thank you. We've got Dennis.
Thank you so much, Jason. When I met you back in 2019 and you were at the podium saying, register Democrats, save the world, it was like so bold. And to be in a parking lot and use that approach when people were going in to shop, it was almost binary, right? If someone would just say immediately, how do I help, right? Or they were MAGA and they just continued. But the metrics and what you've accomplished is phenomenal. We're, based on some of the data that you have purporting to, people that want to vote want to fill the entire slate out. So like what Nadia was alluding to, we've formed this massive army, right? In that we're no longer showing up at a door just talking about one candidate. We're showing up with what we have as a Dem Club endorsed slate card. That's a printout that we're saying, here it is. This is the cheat sheet. This is the secret sauce. You're a Democrat. This is how you vote from school board, because we don't say dog catcher anymore because that's appointed position. School boards are so important. So we've got it from school board all the way up to the greatest pair at the top of the ticket ever with, Harris and Coach Walz. So that slate card, that Dem slate card, and just to give you a data point from our deal, based on our collective efforts in the midterms, in the primary, we went through and the data purported that everyone that got the slate card, they were 32% more likely to get their vote to the finish line. Which means that they just want to know who to vote for. I have your values, you have my values, you just tell me who I got to fill out for. So it's a team effort, and we're so proud of Field Team 6. You guys absolutely rock. And when I heard you were on tonight for the senior caucus, I'm like, oh yeah, 7:30 senior caucus. Yeah. And Jason, so keep up the great work. And like you said, let's win it all, baby.
Yes, doesn't mean it all. Thank you so much. And I got my whole start in the California Democratic Party. Wouldn't be here without this party. Yeah, thank you for everything you're doing, all of you. It's all of us. It's all of us together. It's amazing what we've all been able to do since. I mean, I 2016. So you all know some of you know this way better than I do. I'm new to it, but just in the last 8 years alone, just by uh, this organizing revolution that's happened since then, we have won every major election since then, since Trump won 2016 in a loophole.
Yep.
So
we did a data point, some mapping this morning that showed we just finished an event in Newport Beach on Sunday where we had 7 Dem clubs get together. We had such a phenomenal turnout that we had to do an AM and a PM. Now, if you go back to 2018, after Trump, we got all together in Newport. We had 300 people show up that was a mind-blowing experience to see 300 like-minded Dems that were focused in on, taking back what we had to do. And that was 300. We just did Sunday's event. We had 250 for the first session and 250 for the second session.
Nice.
So that's 500 people that showed out, and they are ready to phone bank and postcard and canvas. So the enthusiasm is there for sure.
It's so good. Enthusiasm, the grassroots, the party together. We're gonna do it. We're gonna win.
Joy, hope,
48
and
days.
love. Joy is alive. Hope is alive.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you, Dennis. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it feels like our psychological immune system as a nation, it took 8 years for us to process the toxin that is Trump and his movement and come around to and produce the antibody, which is joy, because joy is it's what defeats Trump, because he has no love or joy. He's the antithesis of joy. He's just a sucking hole of need for attention, money, and power. And so joy is like water thrown on the witch. It's just, he doesn't know what to do with it. It's so good. It's so good. Keep going, everybody. You give me joy. You inspire me with what you're just being here.
All right, we have Sarah. Sarah, you have a question?
What you guys do in registering people is as miraculous as it comes. I am your very, very biggest fan. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I hear that, it's far from a perfect system. Endorsements are just one aspect. You can't, I will not just use endorsements of somebody I'm sure no one on this call will. We're all political junkies. We're informed. We look into the candidates, and it definitely is possible for sure for a lesser candidate to get more endorsements. So if someone without any knowledge just glances at it quickly and doesn't do a deeper dive, it could bias the candidate who's not as good in some cases, for sure. It's far from perfect, but it's just kind of a I feel like it's way better than nothing, which is what people get sometimes. For people who are not informed or brand new voters. So at least it's an entry into analyzing your ballot. I hear you though on all those points.
Thanks.
The ones that I can understand, because you're smarter than I am.
Not a smartness thing. We all know what Yelp does.
No, but
And
CLP?
also, there's a long history of a problem with relation to this in the schools and the sort of value-added modeling that was used there, which has a really bad piece to it. I hear you about it's better than nothing or whatever, but that's what the professional training can help you bring towards that. Sometimes it isn't. That's my opinion, and I would talk with anyone who wants to know about it more. But anyway, I respect you hugely, so thank you for letting me be a little critical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. We have Carol.
Hi there. I am the treasurer of the club, so this might be the caucus, so this might be slanted a bit. I just want to testify to Jason's involvement. It's so easy to be a leader of a big organization and kind of let everybody else take care of things. So I had given a donation at an event, a check, and there was a problem with it. So at about 11:59 on a Sunday PM, I sent an email saying, "Can I use Act Blue?" Jason responded in 5 minutes saying yes. And I was so impressed. The fact that you were right there, I tell people that story all the time. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. And thank you for keeping hands on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for saying that. I mean, I love this work more than anything I've ever done in my life by far. It's so meaningful, and I've met the most inspiring people of my life in these last 8 years. Yeah, I work in a hero-rich environment. I talk to people. I feel bad, like my mom, best human alive. She's hilarious, very depressed, super political, hates Trump more than anyone alive. She won't do activism. She's like, no, phone banking. I don't want to hear about phone banking. I feel like, but I have the medicine like this, and you won't take it. Yeah, this it's totally like she reads the news and like sees all the depressing parts without seeing all the love and joy and the part that's changing the world, which is all of us. Yeah, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I'll answer that email at 12:04 a.m. Thank you for your donation, by the way. Yeah, Jenny.
Yeah, I'm a co-host, so I can't raise my hand the same way. But I just went to your website, and it's really, really impressive, and it's very helpful. Like, I immediately went to the Blue Voter Guide, and you put in your address, before we even get anything from the registrar, you're able to go through all the races that you're going to be voting on, which is just really amazing. All the propositions and all the endorsements. That's a lot of work. And it's and the fact that you can go to any state, right? It's not
Right.
just me.
It's all 50 states.
Yeah, that's such a great tool. And do you guys use that when you're phone banking?
Yes.
If you're phone banking in another state? Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it's really hard to phone bank and not know what's going on in that particular area or whatever. And then you're able to bring it up and chat about it or whatever. So kudos on the website too.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
impressive.
Thank you so much. It's, I made the first website. This is not that website. It's way better now. We've scaled up so much, and that's with only 3 people on paid staff. It's all volunteer led, but our volunteers are amazing and passionate and talented. And yeah, they power everything we do. Yes, we have. I see, Carol, you were asking about text banking. We're having I should just mention this. Every Saturday at 11 a.m., we have a massive text bank, a million text march. We're sending over 1 million texts a week right now. That's part of why we're doing fundraising, is to keep that going. It costs $40,000 to send 1 million texts, but it's super effective. It's one of the most effective ways to register people to vote. So join us at those. It's free to volunteers. Just show up. We train you. All our events, there's a training in the beginning of, no prior experience is necessary. And you can text. It's all you can eat. Endless shrimp. Text as long as you can. And that helps us reach all the people we need to.
Jason, I had one question. I know we have to wrap up by 9, but I have a question about opportunities for postcarding. I know that there are some other groups like the California Alliance for Retired Americans, for example. They actually have ambassadors that are assigned, and they receive packets of postcards in the mail. Do you do anything like that, or do people have to either physically use a laptop or a phone to do, you know, calling and text banking, or show up physically? Is there a way to receive anything by mail?
Absolutely, yeah. Most of the work we do can be done remotely. So you can phone bank into whatever state you like from your house in your pajamas, like Nadia was saying. You can text bank with us on Saturdays at those massive text banks. We also have, there's 3 different ways to text. There's a free texting platform that some of our genius volunteers have developed. It's called BYOP, Bring Your Own Phone. You don't actually use your own phone. You use a Google Voice number, and our trainers will help you set that up if you don't know how to, but it's free. You can send about, it feels free, you know, it's like, it's a little difficult, and you can send 50 to 100 texts a day, and then you get throttled by Google and you have to come back the next day and do more. So it's not the texting that you're used to if you've gone to the normal text banks. But we have enough people doing it now that we're currently sending over 300,000 free texts a week. That's insane. That's insane. That's like $12,000 worth of texting a week for free that people are doing. So there's that. And there are text arcades, which is, it's the fast kind of texting. It's for people who can and want to. You pay $25 for a ticket, and that gets you 1,400 texts. And then $25 pays for half the cost of those texts. We pick up the other half. It's just a way to extend our budget further, and you get us to text more people. So yes, those are the 3 types of texting. There's phone banks, postcarding. You can use any postcards you like. So we have postcards that you can buy. We make no money off of those. They're great. The shipping is a little expensive. So, I mean, you can use those. You can get your own for cheaper anywhere. And online on our website, you can click over to the postcard page, and it's kind of self-service. But if you need any help, we have a postcard czar who can help with any questions, and help get you set up with one of our existing postcard campaigns. We have a ton. If you'd like to set up your own, we can also do that. Our bandwidth, and just the one caveat for that is, like, right now, like in the next 48 days, our bandwidth will be a little less than usual because it's the crunchiest of all crunch times. But yeah, we're cranking. We're trying to hit 2 million postcards for this cycle. And the thing with all these different methods of outreach is they're different than most organizations because they're voter registration. So they're not hitting the people that everyone hits, the registered voters who get all the emails and texts and phone calls. They're hitting people who are mainly invisible because they're not registered. They don't get any of these texts, emails, phone calls. So that's part of why there's such a high success rate. We get, with our texts, we get a 30% yield. 30% of the people we texted in 22 registered to vote as Democrats or independents. That's kind of insane. 30%. It was about 22% with postcards, 20% with phone calls. So it's making a huge difference. The people that we send postcards to are people, we do this intentionally, they're people for whom we only have an address. In other words, we could not text them if we wanted to. There's no other way to contact them but by their address. So instead of giving up on them because it's harder to contact them, we double down. No Democrat left behind, you know, and that may be the only touch they get. So yeah, very proud of that.
So grateful for the work that you do. It's 8:50 right now, and I think Jason, thank you. For
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you so much.
I finally got you here onto the senior caucus. I've been wanting to for a while now, as you know. I think I need to hand this over to Mike now. Chair Mike.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Jason. That was spectacular. I'm very impressed, and I really hope that everybody who's been in this meeting signs up to work with Field Team 6, what I will do is I will put this, the video of this on our YouTube channel and let you know when that happens. I will also compile the links that are in the chat and send them out to our email list. And don't hesitate to tell your friends about this because, I think we can all agree that another 4 years of Trump is going to destroy the country. And I'm not saying that so that you'll be inspired to go shoot him like he says. I'm saying it because I believe it's a fact. I don't, I know people who over the years have said, well, if the Republican wins, I'm leaving the country, I'm moving somewhere else. But they never did. I think this time they might. I know it's crossed my mind. So I'm very enthusiastic about what we've done in presenting Field Team 6 to you. There are other options, though, that you might go into, and I will put those in an email that goes out to all of you. For instance, every Wednesday, the Harris campaign and the DNC are sponsoring a phone banking every Wednesday. I think it's from noon to 2 or something like that. I'll give you all the details later. And it's aimed at seniors. So that might be something you'd like to do once a week. And they have entertainment along with it too. The entertainment tends to be people that seniors would recognize, maybe nobody else would, but it's still a lot of fun. And we'll do some research and find how you can get involved and tell your friends, forward that information to your friends, no matter what state they live in, because I think that we need to make sure that the Harris-Walz scheme gets at least 4 years. So on that note, I have nothing else. Thanks everybody who joined us, and thank you, Nadia and Jason. Meeting adjourned.